laban sa ilalim ng Zionist movement ang karapatan nilang mabawing muli ang kanilang lupa. At bagamat di mapapantayan ang pighating idinulot sa kanila ng Holocaust, bumuhos naman ang pandaigdigang simpatya para sa mga Hudyo na nagtulak sa United Nations o UN na magkaloob na ng permanenteng lupain para sa hinirang na chosen people.
Ang napiling lugar, isang maliit na bahagi ng dating kinikilalang Palestine na napapaligiran ng mga bansang Arabo. Bagamat ubod ng liit, itinuring ito ng mga Kristiyano sa buong mundo na isang malaking hakbang tungo sa katuparan ng pangako ng Diyos.
Halos 2,000 taon ding nawala ang bansang Israel. Ang tinawag na Promised Land, inagaw at pinaghati-hatian ng mga kalabang bansa nito. Samantalang silang mga Hudyo, nagsitakasan at nagkalap sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Ngunit noong May 15, 1948, matapos ang mahabang panahon ng persekusyon na nauwi pa nga sa malagim na Holocaust, muling naibalik sa mga Hudyo ang kanilang lupang tinubuan. Sa bisa ng isang United Nations resolution kung saan ang Pilipinas ang naging deciding vote, muling naitatag ang bansang Israel.
Ayon sa mga scholar ng Bible prophecy, maliwanag raw sa chapters 37 hanggang 39 ng aklat ni Ezekiel na sa mga huling araw, mabubuong muli bilang isang bansa ang Israel. Ayon kay Joel Rosenberg, nahirapang maniwala ang maraming Kristiyano at mga Hudyo sa propesiyang ito.
Most Christians even, Catholic and Protestant, for much of the last 1900 years thought, well, you can't take that literally. I mean, the Jews have been scattered all over the world. There's no way they're coming back to Jerusalem and that area, this area, to make a country. I mean, it's just never going to happen. 1900 years almost. And now you and I are sitting in the state of Israel. There are 6 million Jews here. They've rebuilt the ancient ruins. They're the leader of the world economy, at least in the West right now. They've got the best Air Force and Army in the region. All the eyes of the nations are fixed here on Israel. Those prophecies are the super sign that Israel will be reborn in the last days. And my argument is that is the one that tells us all the rest are in motion.
Mulat sa pool, mahigpit na tinutulan ng mga bansang Arabo ang pagtatatag ng bansang Israel. Sa mismong araw nga ng deklarasyon ng kanilang kalayaan, sinalakay agad sila ng pinaghalong puwersa ng mga bansang Egypt, Syria, Transjordan, Lebanon at Iraq. Mula noon ay walang tigil na ang kanilang pakikipagdigma sa mga kapit bansa.
You see this where all the eyes of the nations are fixed, riveted on Israel, a country that didn't even exist, a little more than 6 decades ago. The Jewish people that tyrants throughout history have tried to annihilate. Well, here they are, in Jerusalem, in Israel, and all the world is focused on them. Can they make peace? Will they make peace? Every king, every leader, every president seems to come here and try to make peace. And this is the epicenter of the world, the absolute focus of attention.
Hanggang ngayon, isa sa mahigpit pa rin pinag-aawayan ng Israel at mga Arabong bansa ay ang banal na lungsod ng Jerusalem. Isang napakalaking kabalintunaan na ang mismong lugar kung saan dating nakatayo ang templo ng Panginoon ng mga Hudyo ay siya na ngayong isa sa pinakasagradong lugar para sa mga Muslim mula sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Al-Aqsa Mosque na tinaguriang Dome of the Rock ay pinaniniwalaan ng mga Muslim na siyang eksaktong lugar kung saan pumasalangit si Muhammad, ang kinikilala nilang pinakadakila at banal na propeta ni Allah. Kaya naman ang kahihinatnan ng Jerusalem at ang templo nito ay laman din daw ng mga propesiyang dapat abangan ng mga Kristiyano.
Because we also hear of prophecies referring to the rise, the third revival, as it were, of the Temple of Jerusalem, and that when that happens, the end will be near. Is that anywhere in the Bible?
Throughout the Bible, both the Old Testament and the New Testament, the Bible describes that there will be a third temple built in Jerusalem. So when you refer to the Dome of the Rock, while the Bible doesn't say anything specifically about the Dome of the Rock, it does say a third Jewish temple will be built in that spot. So something happens to the Dome of the Rock. The Bible doesn't say exactly. Now, what's interesting about the Bible is Jerusalem is described more than 900 times in the Bible. And how many times is it mentioned in the Quran?
How many times?
0.
What is so significant about that?
Well, it's significant that Muslims seem to want to take over and destroy Jerusalem, and they have their holy sites there, but they're not mentioned even in their own book. Jerusalem is a Jewish capital, and it's the center of Bible prophecy. It's the epicenter of the world, the absolute focus. Interesting that if Muhammad was the prophet and Jerusalem was so important, why did he forget to mention it? It talks about famines and major earthquakes will happen in the last days. I mean, Asia knows the pain of major earthquakes and the tsunamis that follow. And that's just a few. I mean, he continues on with there'll be lawlessness increasing. People's love for one another will grow cold. People will start to betray each other. Think about the rise of divorce.